the weight gain differs from male to female.
The average weight gain is, if I'm not mistaken, it's 3 to 5 pounds. And a lot of that is going to be from drinking a lot of water,
Sure.
possibly, or just fluids in general. But as tobacco users tend to want to fill that void with something, again, that hand-to-mouth thing, and we try to impress on them to have it be something healthy. Although, in the beginning, give yourself a little break. You know, it's a big addiction that you're giving up, and you work on one big thing at a time. The smoking has to come first.
What is the success rate? I know I've heard only 5 to 6% of people that try to quit without assistance are successful.
Well, I can give you the success rates from the Butt Stops Here program. It was started up 7 years ago, and we do a 6-month and a 1-year follow-up with everyone who comes to the program, even if they only attended one session.
Okay.
And at a year follow-up, the stats have stayed pretty similar over the 7 years, and that's 30% of everyone who's gone through, and it's close to 7,000, 6,500, 7,000
Wow.
people have gone through the program to date. That 30% of them are still tobacco-free.
Wow.
So that's
7
pretty,
years later?
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
What other organizations and other facilities, you mentioned the homeless population you started working with, and I know you folks also work with Oasis in some treatment facilities. Not only I'd like to talk about the other facilities you work with, but if we're going to talk about tobacco being a primary or even a secondary addiction, how it's so important, for example, someone that's an alcoholic that also smokes, because you mentioned, and before they passed the law,
Right,
you'd go into
right.
bars and people be smoking, drinking,
Right,
smoking,
right.
drinking, and
I
how
know
it
I
can
was.
and how it can help,
Yeah.
or does it have an effect on people that are smokers and then, or possibly also alcoholics if they?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of questions in that. We just started branching out a little more so, whereas we were being approached by businesses quite often. I'm going to start with that. So we actually go to businesses during the daytime business hours, which makes it very convenient for the tobacco user not to have to go out in the evening again for a group. It's done right there on site for an hour during their lunch hour. And they could come from all different backgrounds and lifestyles. You talk about your alcoholics or drug abusers, which, like when we use the CO monitor, for example, in the program. If you're a pot smoker, it's going to show up on there. Or at wellness fairs, we find that, I don't smoke. Well, you're blowing a 20. I don't know what to tell you there. So that's been very, very successful as far as going out to the businesses, and we get more and more of that, more and more requests. Last year, we were requested to go to the Guilderland Library, and the overwhelming sign-up was so large that I ended up running 2 groups there. There were
Great.
40 people. I have gone to a few mental health facilities. There's one in Cohoes that I go to probably every other month at this point. I've been invited to their residence. And, it's education for those folks who, the majority of which will be, let's say, schizophrenics, for example. And their social workers will sit in on the program, which is pretty repetitive because their memory span, it's like meeting them again for the first time every time.
Okay.
But sometimes they'll remember little pieces. But the social worker can take with them to their clinician, the education and information I just gave them, see if there's any contraindications with their medications, and if they want to quit or they're interested, well, let's follow up on that.
Sure.
The homeless population, again, this is not mandated that they come to a smoking cessation program. It started off that I did run a 7-session program there, and with the transient population, found that wasn't a great fit. So I continued going and doing more an open-ended support group on Thursday nights. And, I have a core of like 12 or 16 people. Maybe I don't see one for a month or so, but they come back because they either want to try again, We're able to give them the medication through the medical component there.
Okay.
But they're there because they want to quit. They want help. So it's very fulfilling.
How about schools? Because let's go back to your case. You said you started smoking like when you were 13. Has Seton Health and the smoking cessation reached out to school districts?
Yes, we have a school outreach specialist right in our office. Her name is Victoria, and she deals specifically with Rensselaer County at this point. But there are outreach specialists that she deals with in all the different counties, and they're making a world of difference in the education piece. I know in Victoria's case, because I live in Rensselaer County, I've kind of sat on, or flew in on her shirt tails a couple times going to meetings, the football games when my last son was in high school last year, to see our presence there. She's made a world of difference. And the students are jumping on board and helping out. They sit on these boards as well.
Great.
Yeah.
What are some personal stories of what you've seen smoking do to people?
Well, I've seen a lot of success through my program, and a lot of celebration, and I've seen a lot on the other side of the coin as well. I've seen quite a few deaths, whether it be family members or patients at the hospital due to their tobacco-related illnesses, that it would have been so unavoidable if they had quit.
How can someone reach out to Seton Health? What counties does your organization cover? And if someone wants to get more information on the Butt Stops Here program, how can you be reached?
Well, the Butt Stops Here program, we reach out to the capital region, Schenectady, Albany, Rensselaer, Clifton Park, and which one am I missing? Schenectady, Albany, East Greenbush, Clifton Park, and Troy.
Okay.
Sorry. As far as the cessation center, they reach out throughout all of New York State. Our office, you can reach me or any of us at 268-6165, or our website, which has the whole cessation center, all of our information, is quitsolutions.org.
Great. Once again, it's the addiction that has been known to be the hardest one to quit. It kills more people than heroin, cocaine, murder, homicide, suicide.
In combination.
Put together. AIDS.
Right.
I want to thank you for coming in today and joining us.
Thank you.
And check our website for more information about the Butt Stops Here program. And until next time, take it one day at a time, and remember, denial only works for a while.